on the underground.
I look in the mirror, who's looking back at me? I don't know what happened, guess we weren't meant to be. I know we had problems, I thought we could fix them, but we got tired. There's nothing left to do but to say goodbye and try to move on. I'll get over you, only wish that I knew how to go on. Baby, you and me, we're so messed up together. Even if we tried, we'd be stuck here forever. I don't understand right now how to make it through, but I'll get over you, and it's not like I'm gonna hate you. It's what it is, nothing left that we could do. Even though it hurts right now, we will make it through. I'll get over you. I'll get over you. Back when I met you, we were like fireworks. Thought nothing could break us, but oh how we got burned. Look at us now, we scream, we fight, and no one knows the reason. We're both getting out of line. Now say goodbye and try to move on. I'll get over you, only wish that I knew how to go on. Baby, you and me, we're so messed up together. Even if we tried, we'd be stuck here forever. I understand right now.
It's another beautiful morning right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, the 12th of June 2026. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and you know that we always begin your Friday with some energetic start to your day. There's so many things we are activating that mood. Of course, after what happened, I've never seen South Africans waking up so angry after that first match between Bafana Bafana and Mexico. It's something that of course we're going to be talking about this morning. Everyone on social media is giving their point, is giving their sentiments and thoughts on what they think about the game. So we also want to hear from you as we're going to be discussing it right here. To connect with us across all social media platforms, we are Vooka Breakfast Show. Right now we are live on YouTube. We're also live on Underground Radio. Of course, to enhance the experience of listening to the Vooka Breakfast Show, you can download the Underground app, both available on iOS and Android. Let us connect, of course, by using the number 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. And of course, with the beginning of the weekend, there's so much that we're going to be unpacking with you. My name is Moeketsi, and I'm happy and of course excited to be with you. Without wasting any of your time, you know that our ingredient of the morning is the picture of the day. Behind me, you're seeing pictures and you're asking yourself, what are we highlighting this morning? This morning we are highlighting the Platte Klip Gorge, which is the most direct and popular hiking route up Cape Town's iconic Table Mountain. Starting near Tafelberg Road, the trail climbs steeply through a dramatic gorge carved into sandstone cliffs. Though only about 3 kilometers long, the ascent is demanding, with a relentless upward path that rewards hikers with sweeping views of the city, Table Bay and Robben Island. The route is well marked and accessible, making it favorable for both locals and visitors seeking a straightforward climb. While challenging, it requires no technical skills, just stamina and determination. At the summit, hikers are greeted by panoramic vistas and the chance to explore the plateau or enjoy refreshments at the mountain's top station. So that is what we have for you in terms of the picture of the day. I hope when you see these pictures, this is going to be part of your bucket list on some of the places that you're going to be visiting together with your friends and family. With that being said, you can of course share with us your experience if you have been to the place, or if you need any additional information, we might as well give it to you. So what we're gonna do right now is to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll give you all the latest news and sports headlines. So don't go anywhere. And once again, a very good morning. These are some of your top stories making headlines this morning. Starting off with your first headline, Mashaba rejects Zille and says Joburg voters are not fooled. Action SA leader Herman Mashaba says Johannesburg residents will not support Helen Zille, insisting voters are not stupid. His remarks come amid growing political tension as parties position themselves ahead of upcoming elections. Mashaba criticized the opposition leadership and expressed confidence that voters would make informed decisions about the city's future leadership. Your next headline, Mango offers passengers a chance to claim 140 million rands. Mango Airlines has given passengers another opportunity to claim money for unused flight tickets worth around 140 million rands. The move follows the airline's financial challenges and restructuring efforts. Affected customers are being urged to submit claims through the official process to recover funds for flights that were never used. The next headline, protest erupts at car track offices after worker's death. A protest has broken out outside car track offices in Rosebank following the death of employee Gcina Dladla. Demonstrators are demanding answers with reports that some workers were locked inside the building during the unrest. The incident has heightened tensions with calls for clarity on the circumstances surrounding the employee's death. Your last news headline, foreign-owned spaza businesses are urged to prepare for shutdown risks. Foreign spaza-owned businesses have been advised to prepare for a possible shutdowns amid rising tensions linked to anti-migrant protests. Authorities and community leaders are urging precautionary measures to ensure safety and protect property. The warning comes as concerns grow over potential unrest ahead of planned demonstrations. That's all for your news headline. Heading over to your sports headlines, starting off with cricket news. With your marathon news, Steyn targets historic 5th Comrades Marathon title. Gerda Steyn is aiming for a record 5th Comrades Marathon title as she prepares for the 2026 race. The South African star says she is approaching the event with a last race mindset, focusing on giving her best performance. Steyn has dominated the race in recent years and remains one of the favorites to win again. Proteas women draw World Cup inspiration from Bafana. The Proteas women's team is drawing inspiration from Bafana Bafana ahead of their World Cup opener against Australia. Players say they are motivated by the national football's team spirit and performances as they prepare for a tougher opening match. The team is focused on delivering a strong start to their campaign. Your last news headline, Erasmus sends a humorous message to Bruce before a yesterday opener. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus has revealed a humorous message he sent to the Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce ahead of their World Cup game that played yesterday. Erasmus joked about the big occasion, showing support for the national football team. The exchange highlights unity across South African sports as team prepare for major competition worldwide. That's all we have for your news and sports headlines. If you have any of our thoughts that you want to share and sentiments, you can simply do so by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show or send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. For now, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll give you all your latest market rates and your weather update.
Trauma with a prima donna, gasping when she see the commas, laughing to conceal the monsters. I feel like Kanye when he lost his Donda. When my father left me, you were there to heal the pain I conquered. I never pay you back for what that meant to me. Some scars just fade physically, but never leave mentally. It's where when people spiritually connect to turn to
what's poppin'. The favorite morning crew
on the Vooka
Breakfast Show. What's up, fam? You chilling with your boy Moeketsi, my man, aka Max for maximum temperature. I am the son of Mother Nature. Let's go.
Famous NommyP, umkabayi kamakosazana.
Hang out with myself, the one and only MOOCEE list. My name is MooCee list. On the Vooka Breakfast Show.
And of course, it is exactly 14 minutes past 8, and you're still hanging out with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. It is your energetic start to the day, accompanied by a daily dose of positivity. To all who have just joined us right now, a very good morning to you. How are you doing? It is, of course, a beautiful Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and we are always hyped up to get you in the mood for Friday. Let us connect across all social media platforms. We are Vooka Breakfast Show. And of course, if you want to call us in right now in the studio, the number to dial is 0604933226. That's 0604933226. Of course, I can't wait to hear some of your thoughts right there. And if you want to share them, the hashtag to use on YouTube is the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. As mentioned, we are live both on YouTube and the Underground Radio app. If you want to download the app, it's both available on iOS and Android, just to enhance the experience of catching up with us wherever you are. Right. With that being said, of course, we just need to kickstart this beautiful morning in terms of updating you on what to expect on your weather update. So if you are in Johannesburg right now, what you need to expect, it's 7 degrees with some few clouds, and if you're in Cape Town, it's 12 degrees with some light rain. In Durban, it's 19 degrees with some clear skies, and lastly, if you're in Pretoria, you're experiencing 10 degrees with some scattered clouds. And then heading over to your markets for this Friday morning, let's look into how the rand is doing against other currencies out there. Currently, with the US dollar, the rand is currently trading at 16 rands 50 cents. With the Great British Pound, it's 22 rand 5 cents. And then when heading over to the euro, it's currently trading at 19 rands 4 cents. And the Japanese yen, it's 10 cents. And on your commodities, gold will get you need to have a 43,500, and then 1 barrel of Brent crude oil, it's 1,550, and Bitcoin is currently trading at 1,250,000. So that's what we have for you this morning on June 12, 2026. We will be back, of course, with your update next week, Monday, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. With that being said, you know that I'm not always rolling alone. I'm always with the best team right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, just to make sure that your mornings are energized and hyped up. But let me just start off with Nommy right there. Very good morning, Nommy. How are you doing this morning? Nommy, can you hear me? Right. While we're still fixing Nomi's issues, she will be, of course, with us in a few seconds. Mr. B, how's it going?
No, I think I understand what's going on with Nomi.
What's going on?
Yeah, no, yesterday was very disappointing.
Oh, South Africans woke up angry, guys.
Right? But this is a professional stage.
Yeah.
But anyway, Nomi, hope you're doing good wherever you are. But Mo, I always take every opportunity to learn, man. Because I was watching the game, yes, I wanted the Bafana to win.
Yeah.
But I also took lessons as well. But for me personally, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I think, I've developed thick skin when it comes to disappointments. Yeah. But here's the difference. I was hoping and rooting that the Bafana wins. So yesterday I made a score prediction of 2-0. But funny enough, the 2-0 went to Mexico.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not negative. Because other people will say, squad, this is right? I was like, no, the guys are going to win.
You were optimistic, at least. Yeah.
Very optimistic. But yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
I took lessons myself, and I also tried to apply it in my own personal life. I mean, the guys are competing at an international stage. It's not easy. Tempers will... But anyway, we're going to dive into that. But I'm good. Thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, I am good. But of course, when looking into the game and speaking about what happened, because I watched every minute of the game, from the first minute, even from the opening ceremony. I got to tell you that the atmosphere in Mexico and countries that are hosting the World Cup right now, it's crazy. It's nice. I wish I could get myself a ticket to watch one of the games and just enjoy the atmosphere around the countries, because it's not only about the sports, but it's about tourism also, getting to know and learn about other cultures out there. So it's very, very interesting on what's taking place right now. A lot of South Africans woke up very, very, very angry, and we're going to be diving deep why those South Africans woke up very angry. Of course, the match played, the first game of the FIFA World Cup kick started yesterday exactly at 9 o'clock. South Africa, Bafana Bafana was playing against Mexico, but that's what we're going to be diving deeper in. So some of the comments, of course, they're coming through as we're asking you, how are you doing this morning? Cat Books came through saying, Dumelang Vooka Nation.
Hey,
good
Kat.
morning, Dumela Madume, back to you, Kat. And then she comes through.
I miss the coffee.
The coffee. Oh, man. I think it would do right now.
Right now.
With
especially,
what
you know, because she's got these big mugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how coffee should be prepared. Not tea. I know when I'm always a tea lover, you have these small...
No, the tea is circumstantial, because like I love coffee with my whole heart.
Yeah.
It's just that my heart responds differently to it. My heart doesn't love coffee.
Okay.
And I love coffee. So I would have it, there. So
sparingly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't have coffee every day, which is so bad for me. All right. And then Kat says, it's because we back up the wrong sport. We don't support cricket like this. Who?
I mean, the T20, the women.
They're kickstarting their World Cup.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's also rally behind them as well. So, I mean, when it comes to rugby, we go in with confidence, right?
Yeah.
With football, with all the support.
Yeah.
But with cricket, more especially the T20, the women's, what they'll be playing this weekend, there isn't that much love and support. But funny enough, even within football itself, Banyana is doing way better than the guys, right? But I don't know, Kat, but it's just, it is what it is. But I don't know.
Yeah.
People don't watch women's football that much.
I mean, I think it also goes with the sporting code, because not only here in South Africa, football is big everywhere in the world, right? And when it comes to, uniting, football is known as the game of uniting people. I mean, if you were in Mexico yesterday, you would see a lot of people, getting together. Bafana fans, Mexico fans, having those exchanges to say, you know what, guys, we are going to go all out and just to remember, the memories that these teams both had, the historic moments, which was 16 years ago. Same date they opened up. But this time it was different because Mexico were the host, which was very, very interesting. So that's what we're going to be getting in right now. So I think Nommy is having some technical issues.
So you need to switch on your mic and mute,
Okay. So while we're doing that, of course, your comments can still... you can keep your comments coming through right there. We want to hear from you. So I want to confirm from Nommy if you can hear us right now. Morning, Nommy. Okay, so even
good morning. Now I can. Now I can.
How are you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you. And hi to the Vooka Nation. Hope everybody's doing well. A bit sad last night's results.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? In terms of what you saw yesterday? I mean, we know that a lot of people, you're not that deep, soccer fan. But this morning when I woke up, everyone, even people who don't watch soccer, they're like, yo, hi Bafana Bafana manje. So what are your thoughts?
I was very disappointed. Like, it was 8 minutes into the game, the first goal.
Yeah.
That one was just very disappointing. And like you say, I'm not a soccer expert, but I could just tell that the quality of the game, man, I just felt like it was mediocre. You wouldn't tell that they were at like world stage, you know. But big ups to Umbogazi. He really excelled. He did well.
Yeah.
My favorite part was seeing all the men crash out on WhatsApp. I loved it. It was so funny. Seeing men being heartbroken by other men was the best.
Yo, guys. I mean, it was very bad.
We take it serious.
We take these things serious, guys.
And we also bring it into our own homes.
Yeah.
To the point where I promised you guys something, and Ubaba is now upset. And TV,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's very interesting. But just to take some few minutes to get into this and break down what really happened, because obviously there is that side where you expect, players to perform at the best level. But there's also a technical side. When you look at yesterday's game, the coach had a plan, and the plan wasn't well executed.
Yeah.
Right? So he started the formation 5-3-2. People were asking themselves, why so many defenders? I mean, you should go out and attack. Obviously, clearly, he went to do a research with the Mexican team that, okay, it's a very offensive team, so we need to defend as much as we can, at least a half time.
Frustrate them.
Yeah. Honestly, that game should have ended with 0-0 because if you look at those two goals, the first one, it's a mistake. It came in, a mistake happened. As Pepelo, his first touch was very bad to a point that it led to the opponents taking the ball and then scoring the goal. And then the second one came after we were a man down. Yeah, we were a man down, and then the second goal came in. I think, after we got the second yellow card, the second red card.
Red card, yeah.
That's when they scored. So it shows that...
even the second one is questionable, but...
Yeah. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things, and I think we can take the whole day, but we also want to hear from you who is watching in terms of what you think. So a comment came from Teponkosi saying, let's fix the way we do things in our national team. Politics, Bafana Bafana should train every month, even with no upcoming match.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Because, Mo, when it comes to synergy, the players need to understand each other. I mean, they all play for local, like different teams locally.
Yeah.
So they need to build that synergy amongst
with each
themselves,
other. Yeah.
But man, yesterday's game was really... Look, the performance is one thing, but also with the amount of red cards. Because was it the second one? Red card, yes.
Yeah.
Where you saw the Mexican player blocking his so now, out of frustration, I think he retaliated, and by pushing him aside, it ended up with a slap.
Yeah.
And obviously we know, we've seen it locally and abroad. When it comes to acting, players will act better than actors.
Yeah.
Right? They will act this guy.
Yeah.
Shy, like they'll even dance on the field and then a second later stand up, walk and run. Right? So obviously the player will take that and use that to their advantage. And remember, this is a world stage tournament. Gonna VAR.
Exactly.
So
there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So people of course will come in, as I will also add on to that to say the person who retaliated is more experienced than most of the players, because Themba Zwane is the senior and he's known for his best experience. So that for himself, it was so unprofessional. Themba, we know you. You have played, in these big stages, and that kind of retaliation is not allowed. And so many questions in terms of the squad, choosing the right people to go and represent. I mean, if you look at the bench first half, guys, there were so many good players outside, and that's why the fans are so angry to say, guys, we had Mamelodi Sundowns that had best players. They won the Champions League this season. We had Orlando Pirates players that won the league. Most of them, they were outside, and it was questioned that coach, why don't you start with these best players? So coach had a plan, and the plan didn't work. You know for a fact that if you start defending, you start, a defensive tactic. If they play high pressure, yes, we know for first half, that's where you read the game. Second half, let's make some changes. Spepelo was off. Immediately after the mistake, it got into his head. By then, you know that this guy must come out because he's going to disturb the whole plan and the execution of what needs to happen. So that's what we really saw. Because second half, immediately when the game starts, he almost committed the same mistake together with Williams. They almost gave away a goal. And it was going to be very, very bad if they scored the second goal, with the mistake having happened the second time.
Yeah. No, you're right. It should have been a draw.
It shouldn't be.
I don't think Mexico is that strong.
Guys, they're not.
They're not
they
that
were
strong.
Overhyped.
Yeah.
They were overhyped.
Yeah.
Like South Africa had, good at taking chances, to bring on good players to come and also, just finish off the game. I think if maybe those players were brought in, I think the score is going to be, we're going to win that game 1-0, at least like 1-0. So players are asking, guys, why don't you put this guy in, man? There's Apolis, there's Mofokeng outside, like a lot of good players outside. So right now, the next test is in the next 6 days, which they're going to be playing again against Czech Republic. They're traveling to the US. And one thing that people don't understand is the traveling. Right, and especially in hot areas, right? So that also can have an impact and affect.
Because the fact that there was delayed visas, applications does also contribute. They probably needed a full 2 weeks in Mexico, right, to become accustomed to it. Yeah, and something that they have started of recent, right, is these water breaks.
Water breaks, yeah.
Yeah, I got cheers, guys. Guys are hyperventilating, Lapo, and but look, the one thing I took away from yesterday's match is that we need to introduce this high level of football from early stages.
Yeah,
where we need to compete at a high level, right?
Yeah.
So that this isn't something new to them, because for some of them it's new.
Yeah.
And I understand with players nowadays, most of them are young, but think about it. We're talking international football. These guys enter the professional scene at the age of 16.
Yes.
So Muntumagana 22, already they've got 5-6 years experience playing on an international stage.
Yeah.
So
of course we can make up our own opinions in terms of what we think about the game, but I think the most important one is to hear from the coach himself, right? So after the game, there was an interview that was conducted, of course, a press conference after the game, asking Coach Hugo Bruce, on what happened. So he gave away 2 takeaways. The first one is when he changed the formation to 3-5-2. So he says, I think when you saw the game, you would know why I did that. Except for the first 15 minutes, which was high pressure from Mexico, there was balance in the game. They then became desperate, not knowing what to do with the ball. The 2 defenders just had the ball at their feet with not much solution. That answers your questions why he played like that today.
Interesting.
And then on the second one, which is the 2 red cards, he said it's not nice for both players to get a red card in an opening game for the World Cup. For the first one, we must accept the player was going in on goal. Yaya fouled him, which was Uspepelo. But the second, the Mexican player blocked Zwane, and it was a bit soft for a red card. You need to look at both. How did it lead to a red card? We understand there was retaliation, but also the player needs to be cautioned to say, you blocked him intentionally. So why is he not getting a yellow card or maybe a red card? Right? With that being said,
Mo, when there was a doxo on our end, the denial of goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
When the Mexican player received a red card. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but then maybe you'll help me understand. So the referee makes a decision. He doesn't need VAR. He saw it.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got this, technology where a cam like
the Lenovo AI cam.
That's insane. But anyway, so he goes ahead and pulls out a red card. So instead of the player exiting the field, like they stand and talk.
Yeah.
So I want to know, in the history of football, has there ever been a time where a referee retracts a red card?
I think because of VAR. So there's a referee's decision and there's a decision that is taken in the VAR room. Okay. So according to the section, I forgot the section in the rule book of the laws of football, that players are allowed to oppose a card if given an end movement. So the player will just, especially the captain will go to the referee and please go check and please make sure that the decision that you took is correct, because I think we once saw it happen here in SA where a goal was reversed without VAR. So you would have your linesman and then you would have your fourth official, and then your fourth official is the last person to make the decision if the referee goes and consults with the referee. So players are allowed to oppose, to say, okay, it's a red card, it's a straight red, we saw it, but we believe that it was soft, so please check for us. And it's possible that the referee will retract the red card and say, okay guys, it's a yellow card. Then from there they won the fight with the referee. I mean, they know, psychologically players know that referees can turn their minds. So at that big stage, it depends on how they choose certain referees to come and.
So yeah, there are certain things that you can obviously debate.
Yeah.
But the one that we saw, because absolutely that was a umblokile.
Yes.
To the point where it could have led to a goal. It could have. Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, maybe it's acting again.
Okay, so
it's acting again, but.
So with that one, why they protested is I think I saw it.
Yeah, but then the referee pulled out the red card. And only 5 minutes later, that's when the guy walks out. But and I'm telling you, okay, don't even walk this way.
Yeah.
Exit at your nearest line. Pumada.
They know how players are. But I'm going to give it to them yesterday because they feel like a foul was committed on their player when the attack was happening, because I think it was Gutierrez. He was trying to play the ball, and then when Moeketsi took the ball from him, they felt like that was a foul. So they were like, no, please, before you say this is a red card, let's go back and look at that foul that happened at the back. Yeah, but now players don't understand that, guys. I have people who are waiting to checking, like they're checking, and then they communicated that it's not a foul, so it's a red card. Go out. So it's tactical. When players argue, they waste time on purpose. They know that anything can happen. Anything can happen. So these are some of the tricks that you're going to see.
So with football, or with any other sport, actually, it's not just a physical thing. I mean, it's mental.
Yeah,
it's mental. If they frustrate you, then your whole game is thrown off.
Exactly.
Right? So
exactly. So it is interesting. It is interesting. We're still going to see much more entertainment and tricks, because some of the laws that were introduced were of time wasting. So you shouldn't take more than 5 seconds if the ball is out. Throw in if goalkeeper spends more than 5 seconds or 6 seconds holding the ball, it's a corner kick. So they're trying to implement those rules so that the game can have a flow. They know that players like to waste time, so it's one of the things that they're trying to mitigate. But yeah, we're still going to see much action. And speaking of much action, in our group we are currently number 4, because Czech Republic was playing against South Korea this morning at 4:30, and South Korea won 2-1. So our next game is against Czech Republic, which lost with against South Korea, Czech Republic, I mean. So that's a game we're going to be seeing in the next 6 games, which is next week, Thursday.
So the goal difference here could... so how many teams are advancing here? 2?
So 3.
3 are advancing.
So 2, obviously it's automatic, and then 3 is the best number 3. if maybe you are number 3 and you are the best, as in like you have maybe 4 points, 3 points, and you have like a good goal difference, then you're going to be chosen amongst. So I think for this one, we are looking forward to, getting out of the group either as number 2 or as number 3, because we've lost our first game. That means we need to win at least.
And we are 2 goals down.
Yes, we're 2 goals down. So yeah, it's a bit difficult for Bafana Bafana right now, but we are hoping that the next 2 games, man, they're going to make a turnaround and make sure that they qualify for the next round. Right. So yep, you can keep those comments coming. But with that being said, of course, we know that when it comes to fandom and, of course, traveling to, Mexico to watch the game, Superfan Mama Joy is in Mexico and having the time of her life. So, of course, we did have some of the footage of her being out there. But, Nommy, I don't know if you're still with us. If you were given an opportunity to go and watch, the games in the US, Mexico, and Canada, would you take that opportunity?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think it's an opportunity that comes, a lot of times. It's a seldom opportunity. So I would definitely grab it with both hands.
Yeah.
Even if we don't make it to the finals, but just the experience of learning about people's cultures, Mexican dishes and all of that. It's a great experience besides the sports.
Yeah, and we also want to show some of the footage of Mama Joy right here having the time of her life in Mexico with some fans. So, of course, man, there are a lot of things that are taking place in terms of learning the culture and the people out there. So that's what she did. She brought the experience back to the South Africans wherever they are. I mean, we have looked into it and we saw the footage. We saw her pictures, circling around social media, having her time of her life. And also it speaks to us to say if maybe there's a World Cup that's being hosted the next time, if our country has qualified, you need to save up money to go and watch, because you are going to be losing out on a lot of experiences, right? But some people feel different when it comes to Mama Joy being that side, because one guy is saying Mama Joy is becoming a nuisance now and irritant that needs pest control. As a professional football fan, you cannot behave like a diva. And when we're talking about a diva, Mama Joy is not like 29 years, 30, 40. This is a whole mother. So I don't know why this guy is saying, things like this. But I think right now on your screen, we're going to show you, some of the footage of Mama Joy in the deep streets of Mexico. Right, she's having the time of her life, and I think every South African right now wishes to be like her, right? To travel and experience, the livelihood of the city.
Remember, there was a time where
they want
Dayton says like a whole 800,000 rand just for one supporter.
Yeah.
No, Mama Joy, we should spread the support amongst others and all of that. But like, guys, no one is like Mama Joy.
Yeah.
So Mama now, as a player, Mombona in the stands, guy in age.
Yeah, I mean, well, now you can't come now and say you want the opportunity same as Mama Joy. I mean, Mama Joy, you've seen her, guys. Like,
she's worked.
You're from way back. Way back.
Very not a fan of football, but I know she's the mother of football. She's like those sports mom.
Yeah.
She is the face of South African football fans.
Yeah.
You can never think of female football fans without mentioning her name or thinking about her. So I feel like she deserves it, guys. She's been very consistent.
Yeah, she really does. She really does. Most people, they were like, you know what, Mama Joy needs to go to Madlanga Commission to, answer some of the questions.
Why, guys?
Right there.
Just because the top deck.
Yeah, I mean, Mama Joy, like, we tata we understand, but where are you getting all of this money?
She's a top deck. I think she's married to White Chocolate.
Yeah, but sometimes the association.
Was she not funded?
I mean, she was funded, but now the questions, the money that she's getting, it's questionable in terms of how she's getting the money, to travel to these places. Because Bafana Bafana would go and travel, and play to other countries, but Mama Joy is the only person who's there. I mean, the association, has a rule that some of the fans needs to be paid, like they need to pay for those fans to go and watch, the game out there. But it was found out that only Mama Joy is getting the money. So, like, what's the story? What's the story?
This is not on Mama Joy. Like, you guys do what you guys do, ne? But if you grant me a ticket as well as accommodation to go to wherever Bafana is playing, I don't even know what you are denying an opportunity to other people. The fact that you've awarded me one, I'm thinking Usipo or whoever is a fan, is awarded the opportunity. So if there's any questions that needs to be sent, it has to be to the organization, not to Mama Joy, because Mama Joy is just a recipient.
All right. So with that being said, and then there is, of course, a video that I want to play right now from Matthew Zimpete saying Mama Joy is becoming irritant. That needs a pest control. As a professional football fan, you cannot behave like a diva. So let's play this video and hear what he had to say.
Somebody please very urgently speak to Mama Joy. I mean, now she's becoming a nuisance now. She is becoming a nuisance. We know she managed to get sponsorship and she's here. She's in Mexico, she's in the US, she's going to be attending the World Cup, she's going to be happy, but she knows as well, how to cry packs, we say what the government, I mean, all those things that other people or other supporters are getting, she's not going to be eligible for that. And I don't know what attempts the sponsorship is high, but the manner in which she's behaving, the manner in which she's been fighting with the minister, the manner in which she's been exchanging tweets, involved in a talk with the minister, that's a minister. Mama Joy, you cannot be doing these things because people are now labeling her or beat and all those things. I can understand the frustration. Mama Joy, she's not happy, there's no joy in her heart, and Papa Joy is there, maybe assisting her or whoever is the sponsor, making sure Mama Joy goes to the World Cup because they are a good Samaritan. It's great, but there's no need for Mama Joy to show everybody where she's there, and we fully know majority of the things that will be given to the supporters, the domestic government, that they would be well looked after. And not to say that she won't be well looked after, but stop arguing the minister Mama Joy. This lipstick is nice, it's beautiful, and Mama Joy, you can see her, she's joyful. Mama Joy,
So he's firing shots, and then it's like, let's make it banter. That's jokey, but I don't know, because he says she's here and there. So I don't know if you wanted to take her place.
Yes.
But guys, no Mama Joy. Guys.
No,
I wonder if Mama Joy was my mom, I'd be like, big ups 100%, go represent.
Let's support her.
But as we know, in the African culture, she is my mom. So, guys, please, let's leave Mama Joy.
We just should, we should give it to her. I think right now, because, a lot of information is being spread and most of it is misinformation, right? Now it's starting to disturb what people have been doing for years. Like, guys, why are you starting to question now? Why didn't you question long time ago? 2010, I was there, and when Bafana Bafana was playing in other countries, AFCON, I was there. Why weren't you not posing these questions? Why now? Why
and also,
now?
Mama Joy is accessing what Isafa and the other guys are outright saying, yes, come and access these funds.
Yeah.
So because I'm accessing them now, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But like I said, if any questions needs to be asked, Melibu's Federation, not
her.
Yeah.
Not her, honestly. Yeah, I can give you that. Kanye, I think you had some thoughts right there. Is mic on? Mic on?
Oh yeah, it is on.
So I think you need to check the batteries inside, okay?
Yeah, it's on. Okay, we'll.
Okay. I think we should be good right now. There we go.
Are we good?
Yeah.
How Mama Joy? Yeah. No, I feel horikimona. Why would a black person now starts flourishing and then suddenly another person who is the same race feeling no, she doesn't deserve whatever. She's been consistent. I mean, I know I'm not a soccer fan as well, like that, but I know Mama Joy from a very young age. I've always been seeing her on TV, and I feel like whatever that is going through in her life, especially in terms of her career and stuff, she does deserve it. You know, and maybe she can go answer it Madlanga, but she really does deserve it. She has done very well and made us so much proud as South Africans to say she's out there in Mexico and flourishing and, you know, experiencing the culture. Probably she might have other stories to tell. You know.
I'm just sad to see it's like Ubabum Dala that goes on to like a live
platforms,
like a TikTok
things.
And I mean, clearly he knows all of these features, right?
So we do have, of course, calls coming in, but we are going to be attending that. But we still want to hear from you right there if you are watching, as to what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Fans are being funded to go watch the FIFA World Cup. But others are questioning, how did you get there? I mean, you are Mo. You're always here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Like, who's funding you, my brother? I don't think those are some of the things that we need to focus on, guys. I mean, we lost yesterday, and we're still worried that we still need to win, the rest of the games that are left right there at the World Cup. But we still want to hear from you. Keep those comments. Yes, Nommy?
Do you not have people that fund this? I know, like, I'm a huge rugby fan, and with rugby, there's a lot of sponsors. Right? There's a lot of corporate companies that sponsor rugby. Some as part of their corporate social investments, they will like sort of put money into the sports. So if someone like Mama Joy was at every rugby match, it would make sense to say like there's banks and there's top corporate companies that are funding the sports. In soccer, do you have sponsors that fund the sport and therefore cater for fans to travel like Mama Joy?
So what I know is you would have like sponsors in the association, or sponsors like, because right now the official sponsor of Bafana Bafana is Standard Bank. Standard Bank might come through and say, okay, just to enhance, the quality of having fans, go and watch the games at the US and other countries. This is the money that we're going to give the association. Then the association is going to distribute. They're going to choose to say, okay, guys, we need 800 people that we can sponsor to go and watch the game. And I think that's what happened, because we found out that the money that was given to the association, it was only to watch the first game. So other expenses, because of it's very expensive out there, right? So other expenses,
$300 for a ticket.
If you want to go out there and cover for yourself, you would. I mean, we also have the Department of Sports and Arts and Culture, which also plays a role to say, okay, how do we now get the fans? How do we now create a transport network for fans to get there? Because if you say fans must just, go on their own, I mean, there's going to be a lot of, travel issues that they face. But if I get to the airport, I show them maybe a pass to say, guys, I got this from the Department of Sports and I'm a fan who's going to watch. But then they're going to maybe create a special transport for those fans to go travel. Because
and some things can be cheaper that way. Because we are bringing 800 people. The visas are sorted and maybe even with accommodation. Because remember, here we're not talking just one country. So they have to move from Mexico. Right? Now they need to fly to the US. And the US itself is big. Right? So it has to be a coordinated effort.
So interesting. Some of the comments were coming through right there on YouTube. Catbook saying, even with male cricket, we played World Cup earlier this year. Saudha was not there. So we need to show support. We need to show support to our fellow cricketers who are going to be playing. I mean, we cannot say World Cup is the only what do you call FIFA World Cup is the only World Cup that we need to watch. There's also Cricket World Cup. There's also a Rugby World Cup, right? So support, of course, must be distributed evenly, guys, even though. So we do have a call from Nolutando right there. Very good morning to you. You are live on the Vooka Breakfast Show. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mo. Good morning, everybody, and your listeners at home. Okay. I don't want us to blame abantu kakhulu for this thing yakamama Joy, ne? Because uzukumbula, fact is, could say when Minister Gaten Mackenzie took over, reshuffling with the sponsors and everything, donations, So afikelela kwindaba kaMama Joy. So he started asking questions in Dogba. Why is Mama Joy being sponsored and other people are not? Now it goes back to who was the minister before Minister Gaten Mackenzie, which will be Minister Moeketsi. So the question would be, did Mama Joy really get this?
Wait. Are we talking about Natim Tet or Moeketsi?
Oh, sorry, Natim Tet. I'm so sorry, Natim Tet. So now the question would be, how does one person acquire funding, public funding for so many years and other people do not? Now, because now we need to ask ourselves a question as Nancy. Same thing that the Minister Gaten Mackenzie did. Fine.
I'm sorry. Gaten must just keep quiet. The same question as Buzayo is the same question that the public is asking about. How is it that an ex-con can become a minister? How is it? If he can answer that, look, I'm not saying we should shy away from Gumama Joy. And sorry to disturb you, Noltando, but I just see a whole lot of hypocrisy because you are asking questions about Mama Joy, and yes, we should. But the public is asking, how can an ex-convict, become a whole minister? But anyway, I apologize. Continue.
Okay. Yes, they are asking that. I think also Yambelana has second chances or however he got it. But now we are here. We are creatives. There are people, Abazi fans, the soccer. We all know that. Now, yes, Kukono Papa, they are getting funds from private sectors and on. But this one person is getting funds from a department, which is a government entity. Why is it that other people are not getting these resources and only one person is, and for so many years without question? So hence abantu nabo, it's not like banomona, but we're all asking these questions because le imali that sonke we all deserve it. It's a nice thing now because when Minister Gaten Mackenzie stopped everything, Umutsepe, I think nguye ngoku amfandayo, which is okay because le yamali doesn't belong to us. It belongs to Umutsepe.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I think these are some of the questions that will be answered when it comes to getting the right answers, because I think a lot of people are still confused. We have super fans, and people are asking, what is a super fan, guys? Because I've been a supporter for as long as 10 years. It doesn't mean when I'm not on social media I'm not a super fan. So we are starting to see some of these fans arising, which we call them super fans. And one thing SuperSport has been doing, I think, when it comes to broadcasting, is to highlight those people on TV. If they consistently see you attending the games, then that's when they're going to choose you and ask you if you are interested in becoming a super fan. So Mama Joy is a super fan. She was recognized and she was
super mega fan.
We have seen her long time ago. She's been doing this. Yes, Kayu?
I think the other thing that sparks the curiosity is how do people get the same opportunities as Mama Joy? I think that's the focal question because people are more interested in finding out how did she get to Mexico and how. But honestly, I feel like as people study the game, do what Mama Joy is already doing.
Mama Joy is in a unique position.
Exactly,
as well.
exactly.
Mama that loves football.
Exactly.
People love that.
And always has, yes. And the consistency. I mean, she even became the face of, soccer in general. You know what I'm saying? So I think, Jay, maybe let's probably have like a whole panel or maybe a research or maybe like a whole, what can I say? An interview trying to find out more thoroughly about the opportunities that she got exposed to and not try to find these negative connotations of her own success because she does deserve it at the end of the day. Waking up and being at the stadium, making the means, she probably had funded herself at some point up until she got funded by others.
Even if it's state money, it's okay.
It's okay. Honestly, why are we fighting her?
The ministers by
exactly.
And again, when I asked this question, I would say, how can a whole ex-con become a minister?
Exactly.
What are we saying?
Exactly.
Crime pays.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying.
So that's a big question.
Mama Joy,
guys. Hands off Mama Joy.
I think if you at least say I born with here.
PAs.
No, I think we will be more than happy to see if Mama Joy is enjoying, the packs. I mean, also she's showing you what are the benefits of being a super fan.
Exactly.
I mean, I've been in the game. If you also want to be, a super mega fan, take the right routes. Go attend games. Talk about those games and let them see you because if you can ask each and every top South African or professional footballer and ask them about Mama Joy, they will tell you stories for days about her to say, Mama has been coming, we've been seeing her through our training sessions, she will pull through. Then when are you going to come and call Mama Bante a diva? I mean, no, man, that's so
hands
wrong.
Off Mama Joy.
Hands off Mama Joy. But I think that's where we're going to be wrapping it up. But in wrapping it up, some of the comments have been coming through right there. Right, Catbook say, I didn't even waste my energy to watch the game which was playing yesterday. And of course, if you didn't know, Mexico, Bafana Bafana, they played yesterday and Bafana Bafana lost 2-0. And the game ended with 3 red cards, which was the first time happening. And then Mami came through saying, good morning, Vooka Nation. Hope you are all good. Happy Friday. #Vooka Breakfast Show. Good morning to you. Hope that you're also having a beautiful Friday morning. Miss Q Rams comes through saying, morning, Vooka Breakfast team. Happy Friday to you all. #Sivugile. Very good morning to you, Miss Q. Hope that you're also having a good Friday morning. And then Cat Post comes through saying, tomorrow at 3:30, we are playing. Please bring the same energy to T20 Akire South. So this goes to all of the South African fans who are watching the FIFA World Cup and who are also supporting the nation to say, guys, T20 is also playing tomorrow. So please go and support the cricket team as much as you're supporting Bafana Bafana. All right. And then she comes through talking about this Mama Joy saga in terms of who is she getting sponsored and if you're a super fan, who is sponsoring you. And she say, I thought Coke was also sponsoring. Yes, you do have a lot of sponsors because if one sponsor is announced as the official sponsor of the club, that sponsor is responsible for doing that. So in terms of that, of course, there's so many things that need to be discussed and it needs to be made public to say, okay, what do we do in order for us to go and watch these games internationally? Catbook says, with public funding, it's different. Money should be distributed not only to one person. That's what people are asking themselves, and they are trying to fight to say, guys, I also want to be Mama Joy. I also want to go eat the what do you call out there? They want to eat those things out there, right? And then Mam Tembi comes through saying a very good morning, Vooka Nation, Underground Radio DBN, and our best energetic Vooka team on a cold Friday. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag Vukile. And then she comes through saying hashtag Happy Blessed Friday. Stay safe and take care of yourself. That's what we're going to be doing this morning, Mama. I hope that you also had a great day yesterday as it was your birthday. A very, very good morning to you.
Yeah, so she was blessed with the care.
And beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
No, it was epic. So
beautiful.
I'm sad that I couldn't, be there. To enjoy it, but went well.
Yeah,
went well.
Very interesting. So, of course, that's how we wrap up this Bafana Bafana recap and also the Mama Joy saga. So, what we're going to do right now is to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll give you all of your news recap on some of the news headlines that you missed. Meantime,
but, before we go, Mo, so this is a very sensitive topic that Nommy is going to be unpacking, right? Vooka Nation, don't go anywhere, because we'll be talking about a recent incident that took place where a employee unfortunately lost her life at the workplace, on her the workplace. So after the news recap, we're gonna dive into that and
so in the meantime, don't go anywhere, as we will be back right after this.
Yeah, stepping in the spot like she own it. Looking like the world is your runway. She can set it off like a gunplay. Oh my, yeah. Talk of the city with that body. Always getting praised like it's Sunday. She said, baby, what you gonna do about it? Loving your vibe, girl. That energy got me going. Yeah. So vibrant. I wanna know if you can give me the keys to your heart, baby. All I need is you. All I need is you. Ewe muleji, you right next to me. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Ewe muleji, mami venaki. She said she need me like heartbeat. Drive me the bed like a RV. Hugging the curves on that body. She bring the heat like wasabi. Promise not to test your heart. Never, we just can't be kept apart. Yeah. Baby, you the best by far. Always got the extra. Yeah. All I need is you. All I need is you. Loving your vibe, girl. That energy got me going. It's my baby. That thing so vibrant. Keys to your heart, baby girl. Ewe muleji, you right next to me. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Ewe muleji.
And it is exactly 7 minutes past 9, and you're still watching and listening to the Vooka Breakfast Show, both on YouTube and on Underground Radio. And of course, you can connect with us across all social media platforms by following and liking Vooka Breakfast Show. With that being said, let's get into some of the news headlines that you missed when we began the show. On your first news recap, Mashaba heads out at Zille ahead of elections. Hermes Chairman Mashaba says Johannesburg voters will not support Helen Zille, arguing that residents are informed and will make independent political choices. His remarks highlight growing rivalry as parties prepare for upcoming elections. Political tensions are rising ahead of elections, with leaders competing for voter support. Mashaba's comments reflect a broader competition among opposition parties to gain influence in Johannesburg, a key metro in South African politics. Campaigning is expected to intensify as election approach. Political parties will continue engaging voters, with public opinion likely shaping leadership outcomes in Johannesburg and other key cities. On your next news recap, Mango offers passengers a chance to claim 140 million rands. Mango Airlines has reopened the process for passengers to claim refunds on unused tickets, with about 140 million rand involved. Customers affected by cancelled flights are encouraged to submit claims. Thousands of passengers were impacted by Mango's suspension of operations. The reopening of claims provides another chance to recover money lost on unused tickets following the airline's financial troubles. What's next is passengers must submit claims within the required process. Authorities and administrators will review submissions as part of ongoing efforts to resolve the airline's financial situation. And then on your next news recap, tension rise after death of a Cartrack employee. Worker and protesters gathered outside the Cartrack offices after the death of an employee. Demonstrators are demanding answers, while tension escalated amid reports of workers being locked inside the premises. The protest reflects growing frustrations and concern over worker safety and accountability. The situation has drawn attention to labor conditions and the handling of workplace incidents. What's next is investigation into the incident are expected, while authorities monitor the protest situation. Further developments will depend on findings around the employee's death and response from the economy. On your last news recap, Pakistani businesses urged to prepare for shutdown risks. Pakistani business owners have been urged to take precautionary steps ahead of a possible shutdown linked to anti-migrant protests. The warning highlights concerns about safety and potential unrest. Businesses are being encouraged to plan ahead to avoid losses or harm. The warning comes amid rising tension, with migrant communities seen as vulnerable during protest. What's next is authorities will monitor the situation closely as planned protest approach. Businesses are expected to remain cautious, while security measures may be increased to prevent violence or damage. That's all for your news headline. If you want to share your thoughts on these headlines with us, you can use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show or send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. Exactly 10 minutes past 9. And of course, before we went to the break, we of course introduced a conversation we're about to have right here, as Nommy has something from us. And of course, it also leads and is tied to the news headlines that we read, that tension have risen after the death of a Cartrack employee. So Nommy, please take us through on what really happened so that we can also give our own views on that. Nommy, are you still with us?
Yes, it's a bit delayed. Can you please repeat that for me?
Oh yeah, we are now of course getting into the discussion of the tension that has risen after the death of a Cartrack employees, because workers and protesters gathered outside the Cartrack offices after the death of that employee, right? So I just want us to get deep into that and discuss on what really happened. And of course, for someone out there, you know, who is working so hard to a point that your employer is not giving you some time off when you're sick, and they're like, you know what, please come to work, please don't be a drama queen or whatever. But now we have someone who has lost their lives because of that.
Well, picture this, right, Mo? You wake up sick, your body is weak, your voice is barely there, you can hardly talk. Right.
Yeah.
And you're not feeling at your best. However, Ubanele still expects you to show up for Vooka Breakfast Show in the wee hours of the morning. Now, imagine you going to work anyways, regardless of how you are currently feeling. That's exactly the reality that's behind the story of the South African that has passed away this week. A young woman who was too ill to work was still expected to report at work for duty at a call center, which is in Rosebank. As working with its car track, and she tragically passed away. At some point, outside a major office, Rosebank, there was there's a lot of things surrounding the death of this individual, with some people saying that it was a sudden sickness that happened at work, and others were saying she was not fit to come to work. However, she was expected to come to work. Now, this raises two uncomfortable questions. The first one: are employees in South Africa being pushed beyond legal and human rights or human limits? The second one is: are employers being held accountable for this? In South Africa, there is a reality. Labor law guarantees you a sick leave. For example, if Banele says he wants you to come to work and you can provide a sick note, you are guaranteed sick leave according to labor laws. And on top of the sick leave, you are also entitled to fair working conditions, because that also matters. Now, this is under the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, which is also known as the BCEA. Employees are not supposed to be forced to work when mentally and medically unfit. At the same time, our employers also have the right to enforce the productivity and operational demands, especially in high-pressure sectors. Now, to balance the two. So the tension is then, when does the company policy cross into a human rights violation?
Because, Nommy, I know that this is closer to you because of the kind of job that she was doing. As a call center agent, right, we understand that these environments are very, very stressful. In my early 20s, I was doing sales at a call center. I was telling the guys off camera that I did sales, and it was during an era where we were calling with private numbers and so on. But people might be asking, so do you think that the type of job that Ukina was doing could also have contributed towards, stress? Because we've seen in the past that Mondays, most people have heart attacks because of the kinds of work that they do. So what are your thoughts around the environment that she was working in?
In my past life, I've worked for a lot of BPOs. And one thing I can say, I don't want to say they're unregulated, but it's time for the Department of Labor to step in. BPOs are, I call it modern day slavery, because for some companies
what are
it's 11
BPOs
hours.
For us that don't know?
It's outsourcing, processing outsourcing. So it's when a company outsource. So you have a company in America, which is DSTV, for example, Foxtel, right? You have an American company that does not want to hire people in America because they're looking for cheaper labor. So then they will hire people in South Africa. So rather than you contacting an American contact center, there is another company which will be the middleman between American DSTV and then the South African company that will provide that American DSTV with employees. So the BPO is the middleman between the clients and the employees.
Okay.
So, for example, you will have a company that charges 25,000 per head, right? So you and I own a company, and we are providing services for Moeketsi, and then we charge him 25,000 per head. But when we are paying Abo Afriberry and Mist, we are paying them 15,000. Because we've already taken our share, which would have been the 10,000, right?
Which I would say it's fair business practice.
Now, we sometimes not, because there's lack of transparency and, you being overworked and underpaid. But also, majority of call centers, whether BPOs or local, because iCartrack is a local one, it's based in South Africa, so there's no outsourcing. They work directly for Cartrack, the company. There's no middleman. The working conditions in contact centers are very bad. There's a lot of micromanagement. There is a lot of work. And again, you are overworked, but you are underpaid. So going back to your question, I would definitely say even her sickness might have been heavily influenced by the working conditions, because you get to work, you have 100 calls on the queue and there's 20 people. So on average, you're probably taking about 30, 40 calls a day. And on its own is stressful, because you're not just taking the calls. There's KPIs, there's QAs, there's things that you need to abide by, and it's your money. You know, everything that you say on that call matters because it affects your salary. It affects the money that you make towards the end of the day. Now, we have people, well, this is my experience or what I've realized with contact centers, right? You could be a top performer as Bane, but you being a top performer doesn't really guarantee you being a good leader or a good manager. Now, when they promote people according to performance. And I used to argue this like previously at my previous workplace to say, Obanele as an individual is great and he works as himself and not as a team. He doesn't know how to be a team player. And it's okay, you know, that's you. And that's how you work. You flourish when you are responsible for your own results. It becomes a problem when you take Ubanele based on his performance and you do not train him. And then you say, Ubanele must now be a manager who oversees me and Moeketsi. When Ubanele is all for himself. Now, he will lack communication skills, leadership skills, the patience and everything. So that's why in my call centers, you find that people are having problem with management. It's because you're taking people that are not skilled for that position or trained enough for that position. And secondly, they are not trained on the law. These people do not know the law. You know, you talk about the Labor Relations Act, you talk about the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. They don't know that if that person is saying, yay, I have a target to reach and I expect you to be at work, they will disregard the law for their KPIs, which is an example that has happened in this case. You know, the manager is denying the agent sick leave to say, no, you have to come to. And allegedly, this is not the first incident to happen at that company.
I mean, the CEO of Cartrack broke their silence yesterday, responding to the matter. Yeah. But what you mentioned could also be a case of pressure that flows from the top, because as a supervisor, I mean, you also want to, have a good life for your family. So you are promoted and you receive pressure from the top. So this then highlights the fact that this isn't a individual thing, but more of a company thing, or perhaps even a management thing of the way that they do things, because clearly this is a case where labor laws were disregarded, right?
Yeah. Well, what I've realized, you're absolutely right. There's a hierarchy to this, right? Ubanele, as the CEO of Cartrack, will come and say, I want 50,000 sales this month. I want every driver in Joburg to use Cartrack as their tracking company. And then Moeketsi, a Nomfundo is incapable of reaching that target. Now, you are putting pressure on Moeketsi, and Moeketsi is undertrained for these things. Like, it goes back to the point that I was saying, if you are trained as a supervisor or as a manager and you are aware of the laws, you are able to stand for your agents to say, but my agent is entitled to so many days of sick leave. They accumulate sick leave after how many days, after working so many days. So even if you do have a target to reach, if your target is 50,000, set room to say, we're not going to reach 50,000. We might not reach 50,000 because unabantu that might fall sick. And you cannot plan for those things ahead. But then the thing is, they act as if people are robots. And they say yes, they are yesing to that they know are impossible, because you are on the ground. You know the capabilities of your agents. You know, they can't make 50,000 in sales, but we can give you 30. So they don't open the room for negotiation. Hence, there's this much pressure that is coming from the CEO going right down. And the thing is, the people that sit in boardrooms are not the people that are taking the calls to convince the clients. Looking at our current economy, someone would say it's too expensive for me to pay 300 rands or 400 rands for my tracking company. Now, Obanele will be told, we are struggling to make these sales. Can you lower the targets? Obanele is going to be like, no, I want my 50,000. And that then puts so much pressure to say, at the end of the day, we're going to disregard the law because we need to make this 50. And if service level agreements, so she has to come to work. She's forced to come to work because as one person, we need 50 sales from her. Does it make sense?
It makes absolute sense because here we're trying to find a common ground between employer and employee. Since, the employer has to be accountable for a number of things, and the employee is also responsible within this contract or relationship that they have. So my understanding is that, word on the street, basically, that she went to work and she wasn't feeling okay. And what happened is that she asked to be excused and went to the restroom. And this is where she was found an hour or two later, where she was deceased and confirmed unalive at the restroom. And there has been previous communication with the manager that I am not feeling okay. And this shows, or this tells what you've been saying, that they are looking for targets at any cost or any price. And we are now in a situation where the price in this case is someone's life that has been lost. So obviously, this is someone that wanted to provide for her family. She needs the job, and she went to work not feeling okay. And prior to that, there's also communication that she communicated with the manager that she had been to the doctor, provided all the sick notes, but then the pressure environment still wanted her to come to work and work even in those conditions. So my question, Nommy, since you do have the experience within the call center, is centered around rights of employees, that in the event that an employee is unfairly treated, is there a place that they can go to? Because obviously it is hierarchy, as you mentioned, that the first place would be the manager. The manager, you then take it up with HR. But if, let's say, it's not working within the current setting that you are in, are there any means outside the company that one is employed in if one is unfairly treated?
Yes, they are. But perhaps before I answer that question, the sad part about contact centers, again, I don't want to say they're unregulated, but it seems as if they are unregulated because they do not have a trade union. That's the one sector that doesn't have a trade union in South Africa. And trade unions are there to represent the right of employees. So if we're missing a trade union, that means there's no one that's there that is going to be vocal and that is going to be representing the rights of employees. But yes, there are channels to follow. The hierarchy is that you tell your manager or your team leader. If that doesn't go well, you have a campaign manager, you have an operations manager. If you fail and HR of the company is not attending to your case, there is CCMA. You can take it to CCMA, or you could take it to the Department of Labor, and they can be able to direct you to the correct channels on how to go about the case. But I also feel that the fact that there is no trade union for agents has made these companies abuse I don't want to say abuse their employees, but sort of abuse or disregard the rights, labor-related rights of their employees. For example, we do not know what the minimum wage within the contact center sector is. There's nobody that regulates that. There are people that do not have a basic salary. There are people that only work on commission. And if you look at that on a monthly basis, and some sectors, there are people that do not meet targets, which then says for 6 months consecutively, you are getting below minimum wage. Yes, South Africa get overall. And no one is saying anything about that.
Yeah.
So you're getting below. The law has set a minimum wage in South Africa, but because you get paid according to commission, you are living off below minimum wage, and these companies are not being held accountable for that.
Yeah.
There are companies that make people work for 11 straight hours. When the Basic Conditions Employment Act says you're supposed to be working 9 hours or 40 hours to 45 hours a week, and whatever extra hours you work should be considered as overtime. There are companies that make their employees work on a Sunday and they don't pay them that overtime or time and a half or double pay. So there is a bit of a gap when it comes to that industry.
Yeah, very interesting. And I think also this talks to when companies take advantage of people who are desperate, because they also funnel in that work that they need to do maybe over the past for the next 6 months. You'll find out that the project or what needs to be done, it needs to be done in the next 6 months, but people are desperate. They want the money, they're looking for overtime. Now they're overworking those people, and then when now reports and such incidences come through, now companies are not held accountable, and we've seen that they try and they always find their way out. We don't see serious accountability being held against these companies. But I just want us to dive into the real issues when it comes to this play, just to unpack some of these hard questions, because I see that the right to sick leave versus business demands, South African labor allows something in which maybe someone out there who's watching can really learn about that. So we see that the South African labor laws allow that paid sick leave within a cycle and medical certificates for prolonged absence. But in reality, many workers feel pressured to push through the illness, and fear of losing income or jobs, leads to unsafe decision. This is very bad, by the way. It's very bad.
Very bad.
Yeah, and then the uncomfortable truth is that even if the law exists, is it being respected on the ground? And I feel like this is a very important question. Yeah. It's not, as we see, what's happening recently. And then when you talk about the workplace...
Can I make a typical example before we continue, just by you making reference to sick leave, right? In many contact centers, there is something called an attendance bonus. So that's added on top of your salary, and you meeting it's part of a KPI, key performance indicator. So your allowance is based on your attendance. It's called an attendance bonus for a reason, because for every day that you are at work, you accumulate money. So if you miss 1 day of work, let's say typically your attendance bonus is 2,000 rands, right? That means for the how many days do we work a month? Is it 22 days?
Yeah. 22.
Let's say you work 22 days per month. For the full 22 days, you cannot miss a day of work. Even if I work 21 days and I miss 1 day, I will lose my 2,000. Now, this has led to such instances where you have employees who are not fit or medically fit to be present at work. But because you are thinking of this 2,000 rand, you force yourself to come to work. For example, if I have worked 21 full days and today's the last day for me to clock this attendance bonus and I fall sick, I will say, no, I will go to work sick because I need to make that 2,000. So these things are not being regulated, because it's also unfair business practice to say if you do not come for 1 day out of 22 days, whether it was sick leave or if it was personal leave, you are not going to make that attendance bonus, because that is unfair. What are you saying? I'm a robot. And it's not like you plan to be sick, Mo, So all these things should be factored in to say who is regulating the sectors of contact centers and the rules. And when they make these rules and these KPIs, as much as it's different departments and different industries, but there should be a rule for everyone to abide to when it comes to how you set up your KPIs. I'm not sure if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely. And I think this also, comes to the question of safety, because a lot of people, when it comes to safety, there's, a way of how they see safety, right? When it comes to the workplace, even if, it's beyond the physical danger. So a lot of people, when they think of safety, they think construction sites, they think of mining hazards, if maybe I'm not going to get injured physically right there. But with call centers, what's the question? What do we do? Because these stories challenge that in itself, because there is high stress, there's strict performance targets, as you're mentioning, the limit breaks, the allegation of being locked in during unrest. Like, imagine being locked in a building, while there's an unrest. Because I think when it comes to unrest, you need to let the employees go so that the situation can be handled professionally and legally, and authorities come through right there, by the premises, so that they can be a way forward. But when it comes to safety, question that is asked is psychological and environmental safety taken seriously enough? But I think that is not. Yeah,
I don't think so as well.
That's again, I'm going to use the word allegedly. When Uqina was at work and she was saying that she was feeling unwell, there were people who went to the toilets, and I read an article, again, allegedly. She was on the floor. She had taken all of her clothes, which I'm assuming she was probably overheating. Right? The article then goes to say there were people who attempted to perform CPR on her, of which there was no proof that those people were trained. Now, contact centers are not your typical workplace. Think of it as, I always think of them as university, because that's how it feels. It feels like I'm back in varsity. We are looking at a floor that is accommodating about 100 people. So it's not like your normal office where you only have 50 employees. You normally have 50 plus people in one floor, of which, out of those people, we should have someone who's a first aider, who is a trained first aider, right? We should have someone who has been trained either by the company or has been employed specifically because they have that skill of performing a CPR should there be emergencies. I know with some contact centers, they do have an on-site nurse, but also that on-site nurse is not available for the duration of the shift. With some, it's just 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. So those are other things that we need to look into. If there was a trained person who was able to perhaps perform CPR, or if there were, for a company as big as Cartrack, you would expect them to have an on-site nurse, because they have so many departments and so many employees. It does not make sense how someone could collapse and there is no one that is medically trained by the company, considering the vast majority of people that they have in the building. So should there be an emergency, that should have been a contingency plan for them to say, we have a medical professional that is trained to take care of such situations. So going back to that question of safety, it is unsafe. Because if a person was able to collapse and there's 3 or 4 people trying to perform CPR, of which there is no proof that those people are trained. Secondly, they were not able to get an ambulance.
Yes.
And Mall Park is just, someone said Mall Park is like a 5-minute drive from them. None. In some contact centers, I've been fortunate to work in places where they care for their employees. You would have a company car, like a staff car, that is just there for such emergencies.
Yeah.
I understand with some medical conditions, perhaps you can't touch the patient. I know with epilepsy and stuff like that, you're not allowed to touch the patient. However, as a company as big as CarTrack, you would expect them to have plans to say it's either a medical professional or we have a staffed car that is always there to transport people should there be an emergency.
Interesting.
Yeah, because now there's protests that are taking place, and there were some employees that were locked inside the building because they're demanding answers. And it's only yesterday, as mentioned, that the CEO broke silence to address the matter. But it just goes to show how much unregulated this industry is, even from what we would consider reputable companies, right? Yeah. So this is a developing story. Because it does touch on a lot of points like your labor laws, human rights, and all of those things. So as the story unfolds, we'll definitely keep you posted, Vooka Nation, because, Mo, if you're not feeling well, I must say, Guti, was a spanny.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you've got a target.
Yeah, because you've got a target, and all of that. So, again, when it comes to labor laws, I don't want to lie, I think this is an ongoing issue because not so long ago there was talks about minimum wage. What should minimum wage be?
Yeah.
And regulation isn't there. So as a result, it's different from company to company. And the culture that they create is that they are always hiring because people are leaving as fast as they came in. And for them, it's just a case of, look, you're employed, yes, but if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. And they create this toxic environment for one to work in. But we'll definitely keep you posted, Vooka Nation, on the development of this story as we continue. But any last thoughts, Nommy, with regards to this matter here?
I feel like our government and the Department of Labor has been very ignorant when it comes to contact centers.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say they are unregulated. This is not the first time we're getting headlines of this nature. It's been happening. A lot of people have even reached stages where they are depressed. They are living with anxiety simply because of the experiences that they've had at contact centers. And some of them never really got their justice, I just feel that it's unfortunate that we had to lose yet another life, because this is not the first life, because of unfair and unfair working conditions and inconducive environments. And people think these things are only just physical. No, the pressure that is there, the abuse that is there, the manipulation that is in these places causes a lot of stress, emotional damage. And remember, not everyone who works at a contact center, and I hate that narrative where people think everyone that works in a contact center is uneducated. You've got graduates. I think the contact center is one of those industries where you have so many graduates that are there. You've got people with BComs, you've got people with LLBs. For example, I studied law, yet I worked at a contact center. That on its own is emotionally damaging because you are skilled, but because of the lack of employment opportunities in South Africa, you have to settle for survival. You've got a degree, but you're getting paid amounts that even people that are without degrees are getting paid twice as much as you. You've got an honors degree, but your manager only has matric. All those things, they contribute towards the stress. The environment on itself is not kind. The pressure is not kind. Therefore, these things, you start developing anxiety, you start developing depression, and the companies do not have psychologists for you to deal with the mental aspects of these things. So you are fighting your own battles to say, I am a graduate who is working at a place where I shouldn't be because my dream was to be a lawyer, but now I can't be a lawyer. and I'm working at a contact center. 2, you're being underpaid. The money that you are being paid is not enough for you to survive Cyril's economy. 3, you've got all this pressure from work. All those things, they contribute towards your stress levels, and you end up being physically sick. But it doesn't really start from there. So I just feel like, and I hope the government intervenes, because they've been very quiet about this whole thing. I haven't seen any government official say anything about contact centers. You know, the last time there was a Julius Malema who was very vocal about the situation in Durban and CCI, but months later it died out. So I just wish that they could take this seriously. Yes, contact centers, there is a positive side to it. They are employing people. They are creating employment opportunities a lot, especially for unemployed graduates.
But
also
it
needs to be regulated.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's my closing points.
Okay. No, thanks, Nommy, for that. We'll share more details as the story develops, right? But moving on to a positive note, we're going to be looking at days that we or celebrations that are celebrated on this particular day. And today we are celebrating National Red Rose Day, right? It is actually a celebration, Red Rose Day. And it's celebrated every year on the 12th of June. And my screen just froze right here. But anyway, I'll give you more details on that. So we're going to take a short break right now. And then when we come back, we still give you your positive vibes on a daily basis right here on Vooka Breakfast Show. So don't change that dial. And we've got 15 minutes before we close the show. We'll be back to wrap it up.
she own it. Looking like the world is your runway. She can set it off like a gunplay. Oh my, yeah. Talk of the city with that body. Always getting praised like it's Sunday. She said, baby, what you gonna do about it? Loving your vibe, girl. That energy got me going. Yeah, that thing's so vibrant. I wanna know if you can give me the keys to your heart, baby. All I need is you. All I need is you. Ewe muleji, you right next to me. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Ewe muleji, mami venaki. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. She said she need me like heartbeat. Drive me the bed like a RV. Hugging the curves on that body. She bring the heat like wasabi. I promise not to test your heart. Never, we just can't be kept apart. Yeah, yeah. Baby, you the best by far. Always go the extra mile. Yeah, yeah. All I need is you. All I need is you. Ewe muleji, you right next to me. Moji mule na vanemia yila, vanemia yila. Ewe muleji, mami venaki.
And then that one just to lower the music. Sorry. Nope.
Vanemia yila.
There we go. All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Happy Friday. This is how we are closing off the show with the last 10 minutes. Nommy, you still there? Okay. So as promised, guys, that I'll be giving you the celebrations that we are having today. And today we are celebrating National Red Rose Day. So this day celebrates love, it celebrates beauty and the symbolism of red roses. So it's celebrated every year on the 12th of June. And it's about giving roses, romantic gestures, as well as appreciation acts to each other. I know Nommy was posting, but this was in Valentine's, like...
Yeah.
Like she had roses galore, right?
Yeah. I also think, if I'm not mistaken, Nommy, your second name is Rose, right? Mariri.
Yeah, so it's to express love and appreciation for others, and the purpose obviously is to strengthen relationship, encourage gratitude, kindness, and celebrate timeless symbols of love. So if you can, today, take a rose, send it to someone, and even on TikTok a bit later on when we are streaming, doing the music thing, send through roses.
Yeah,
send through roses. Yeah. That's if you can, right? And then the other thing that we are celebrating, or at least looking into today, is World Day Against Child Labor, right? Yeah. We might not see that much, but then it's something that does actually happen, where World Day Against Child Labor raises awareness about child labor and promotes global efforts to eliminate it. So every year, 12th of June, we look into this day, where it was founded in 2002 by the International Labour Organization. And the focus is on protecting children from exploitation and unsafe working conditions, right? I don't think this should be a celebration, but it's more of an awareness, right?
I was about to
exactly. So it's to promote education for all children, highlight human rights, the rights of children, encourage governments to take action, and also to support vulnerable communities, because this happens in vulnerable communities quite a lot. So Nommy, now that we have you back on, today's National Red Rose Day, and we were just talking about a picture you once shared where you had roses galore, right? So I know you were a rose person.
Mariri.
I am. My partner named me Rose for a reason. So I'm hoping he is listening right now because I am expecting roses today.
But you know how roses can lift someone's mood or even the mood of the room entirely, right? So, yeah. You know, I used to underestimate flowers, but I think I understand the importance of having real live flowers inside your space.
So you want flowers?
And you know what? We'll get you a rose, Manette, don't worry.
No,
For me, it's a thing of you want a rose or a bouquet of roses?
No, not even a rose. I want like a pot plant, you know.
That you can take care of.
Yeah, like for example, I want that bonsai, that small tree, ne?
Yeah.
I would love one of those.
Should I get you that?
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
I have 3 plants, of which one has already died. Perhaps I'll just cut off the leaves and then bring it, and maybe you can revive it because I'm bad at taking care of plants.
You promised us, since you promised us those flowers or roses, we need one in the studio, Pen.
I'm gonna bring you these plants because but you know what, Snare? The reason why I like receiving flowers is the thought behind it, that you walked into a supermarket or you walked into like a florist or whatever and you thought of me and you took time off your day and you're like, let me make this person happy. So for me, I appreciate that because that's how I view it. I'm like, okay, so you took a good 5 minutes, because with flowers you don't just grab flowers, right? Or roses. You have to look at them to see, are they still fresh? And will she like this? So the thought process behind it was you really went into a supermarket, spent about 5-10 minutes of your life trying to make me happy.
So I think it's good that you appreciate it, because as someone who has bought flowers, ne, I remember I think it was my girlfriend. Yeah, it was my girlfriend's birthday. So I bought flowers on that day, right? And I bought them in the morning. But here's the thing, Mo, because we're not really used to this, there was this awkward feeling, ish. Maybe people think I'm the soft guy. Yo, now I'm Mr. Romantic. Yeah, like, here's Mr. Romantic. And you know, you can't hide flowers, right?
I mean,
so I remember walking in Songvuli Gate again. And so I've got them in hand, right? Beautiful flowers. And I mean, if she's watching, how did you feel that day? I challenge you, man. Come back, comment.
Buy flowers.
Buy flowers, buy flowers, and see. It's got a similar feeling as getting, lama contraceptives at garage. Where they look at you like, oh, okay. So sure, Vumzal. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So Kanye, you wanna share something?
No, but I'm an extremist.
Yeah. Okay, Kanye. You wanted to say something?
Oh, I'm saying, Mina, I'm an extremist because those flowers, I would expect them in a new age manner. Of course, like
she wants money rolled in.
Exactly, $100 around 100.
They just mess up the whole idea. You guys are just messing up the whole idea. You're no longer buying flowers now. Now you're buying money. It's like you're paying someone for buying them flowers on top of it. So that itself, but
also, you know what, guys? Our parents, our mothers and our aunts, they really appreciate flowers. It's so sad. I once bought my mom flowers and she's like, this is the first bouquet I've ever received in my life. I'm like, oh my goodness. So if you get an opportunity, please buy your aunts and your mom or female figures in your life flowers. They would appreciate it.
But you are the flower. Nice, if you're a girl child, you are the flower. So there's no need to buy flowers, man.
I'm Rose to my man and not Rose to my mom, so I still buy her flowers.
I think it's intentional so that he can no longer buy you flowers. That's why it's like, why do you need Rose? Because you are my Rose, man.
Oh, guys, my man is romantic. He needs to buy me flowers today.
Flowers
Tell him
are quite pricey as well.
Yeah, expensive.
Because depending on where you are in the relationship, if I'm gonna buy you a bouquet of flowers, roughly 300 to 400, it means it's shebo sikone free.
Yeah. Yep, that means
it means even if it's not like a whole lot of money, but I mean, like at this point, if there isn't much to eat, then I think she would ask me, okay, but you could have bought like 5 kg, like not in a bad way.
KB.
So it goes with your affordability.
Like poverty speaking.
Cauliflower.
But I can buy at least one rose.
Yeah.
Just one rose. I think that I can do.
Yeah.
Even if to a gap bed.
Wrap the $100 around it.
Interesting. As we about
guys, it's about understanding your partner. It just needs to understand your partner.
Understanding what kind of flowers they like. But
yes. Like for me, you can grab a flower from the neighbor's garden and just wrap it nicely. I would still appreciate it because it's the thoughts behind it. Yep. So if you can't afford, it even means more to say, how am I, my man thought, even, regarding circumstances, but he was still able to think of me in that way to go an extra mile. Let me go grab flowers from the garden just to make me happy. So it's about understanding your partner.
Yeah. As we close off, of course, last thoughts, Nommy, what are your plans for the weekend?
I might be getting married.
Okay.
Speaking of flowers,
now we need to get you flowers. We understand. Yeah, these are the situation one would get flowers. But huge congratulations to you. I'm hoping to hear on what took place during the weekend when we come back for our weekend recap next week, Monday. But of course, as that being said, thank you so much for your time, and we will see you all. Can't wait to be with you next week, same time, same place, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Thank you. Toodaloo.
Thanks, Nommy. Cheers, guys. We'll see you next week. TikTok 2:00 today. 2:00.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. We love you.
So don't you tell me I am selfish just because